The internet is a tease. There's cats and dogs everywhere, making me feel all alone, with no for a child to call my own. Oh, I'm just sitting here longing for other people's pets. I want your cats and your dogs, and my own mischief of rats. Who's gonna fill my empty boxes? Who's gonna leave fur in my food? Who's gonna puke on my paintings? And who's gonna sleep curled up on my feet? Who's gonna eat all of my paperwork? Hi, I'm Jana, and sometimes I'm wondering whether I might finally be going mad. I'm overall a shy, introverted person, with a good dash of social anxiety. I have a strong dislike of seeing photos of myself, and I cringe every time I hear a recording of my voice. So this here shouldn't be a thing. A part of me wonders whether the last few years have finally broken something inside of me, and now all the weird is spilling out. When I first thought about making this video, my intention was to encourage you to share your art. All the things you're making and are excited about, despite or perhaps because, oh my god. However, I'm not going to start with the creations. I will start with the creator. That's you. That's me. There is one thing that all of us choose to share or choose not to share with others every day. And that's ourselves. We are torn between the fear of being perceived, flawed as we are, and the desire to be truly seen. We want to be part of the tribe, not left alone in the woods to starve or to be eaten by carnivorous trees. Yet instead of approaching the warming fire, the laughter and the company, we stay in the dark, waiting. We tell ourselves we'll join eventually, one day, when we are perfect and everyone will love us. I love forests. Hanging out alone in a forest does kind of sound like a dream scenario to me. Just me hanging with the birds and the foxes and the carnivorous trees. Unfortunately, this forest is metaphorical, and most of us are stuck in concrete boxes, and the warming fire is only visible through these little rectangles we hold in our hands like our precious. We don't even know what fires are real and which are illusion, which ones will warm us and which ones will simply burn. And still, we want to join. It's only human. And still, we wait. Just until we're perfect. Is there something you've been holding off on doing because you're not perfect yet? Like going to a party, but only once your skin has cleared. Going to an open mic, but only once you know for sure that you're the funniest person ever. Mingling with your fellow humans, but only once you're the kindest, wisest, funniest, and most beautiful person in the world. There was a time when I thought the only reason why people would want to hang out with me was because I was good at art. So if I wanted to have friends, I needed to get better at art, because otherwise I just had nothing else to offer. This is a good mindset. If you want to get better at art, the stakes are high. Get good at art or be lonely forever. It is a piss poor mindset if you actually want to make friends, because, getting better at art requires a lot of time hanging out with pencils, and making friends requires a lot of time hanging out with people. So, what shall I say? I am and have always been rationality incarnate. Oh, anyways, what I want to say is that we sometimes throw obstacles in our own way. We could argue they have been put there first by outside influences like the media, culture, society, but I think they're only suggesting those obstacles, and it is us who make them substantial with our own thoughts and our belief in them. Risks are real, and life offers actual stumbling blocks galore. Why would we make up more of them? Perhaps it is easier to falter in front of an imaginary wall than to scratch your knees climbing. Perhaps our brains are just overprotective, forever keeping us safe and miserable. That's cute of them. I'm just really metaphory today, aren't I? So let's get real then. Let's talk about me. We've probably been talking about me all the time. I have a habit of referring to myself in the plural, and it's very confusing to people. But I hang out so much with myself, it just seems like the natural thing to do. Anyways, look at me. Look at me. Is this a perfect person? No. Look at my teeth. Look at them. My dentist always says things like, at our last appointment, we discovered your teeth are malpositioned. Like it's the great revelation, and I somehow never noticed for all of my teeth having life. I know, man, I know what they look like. It may not look like it, but I do own a mirror. For the longest time, I thought I needed to get my teeth fixed before ever showing my mug online. Or anywhere, really. Yet, they never bothered me personally. They're just part of what this body looks like, right? When I was a teen, it was really hip and trendy to take all these online personality quizzes about pretty much anything, mostly which character from which TV show are you. And one common question was, what would you change about the way you look? And I think it's kind of awful that that was in so many tests for teenagers. Anyways, I never really knew how to answer that question, because I absolutely knew, and I know now, what I would need to change to make myself look more conventionally attractive. But it would make me less myself. It's not like I hate these parts of myself, I just worry other people do. I now have a very eager dentist, and I technically have the money, and I could get my teeth fixed. But nowadays, I don't think I will, and I don't think I want to. And it might just be out of pure spite, right? It feels nearly like an act of defiance, like, deal with this world. If you can't take these teeth, you don't deserve the rest of me. And even if I did all the things possible to change my face into something worthy of a Hollywood love interest, I still worry about other things, about saying stupid things, about being too boring, about being too self-centered, about not being helpful enough, not being kind enough, and so on and so forth. It would fix absolutely nothing. Seriously though, have you ever met a perfect person in your life? Even those with a strong veneer of normal going on are just hiding their own brand of messy mess. We're human, we're messed up by design. I mean, by evolution. I guess if we actually were designed, we might be perfect. I don't know, but we are messed up. And I declare, if you don't have one stupid thought, don't say or do a single stupid thing today, then you, sir, lady, in between, you are making me suspicious. We're all works in progress. And we won't be done when we're perfect. We'll be done when we're dead. When I'm out for a walk, everybody but me has a dog. They really don't deserve them. And that's why I'm gonna steal them all one day. Yes, blah blah. Nobody feels good enough. Old news. Old news. Let's talk about the creations then. The art. The things we make. I believe all humans are makers. We make stuff. That's what our hands are for. Hands are great. But even without hands, humans find a way to make stuff. We just gotta. I also think all humans are creative. That's just part of the making. We create. I also think we are meant to share what we create, not because there is no inherent value in the act of creation alone, the tinkering away in solitude. No, I think that's vital. But we are social creatures by nature. If we have made a thing, we want to show it around and get reactions and opinions about it. And I don't necessarily mean praise, although praise is nice, but interaction, connection. Whether what we have created is as flimsy as an idea or as solid as a bronze statue, we want to share it with others. We want to share the joy we derive from it, the beauty it offers, the grief we process through it. And yes, the simple pride of having made a thing. I think the making and sharing of things, of art, are both very intrinsically human. And I think it is a great tragedy that many of us cannot, or do not think they can, participate in it. People don't dance, don't sing, don't draw, don't write, don't make and create freely as it is their right, as curious, two-legged, big-brained weirdos with thumbs. And some of that is due to long working days, leaving people with no time or energy to do more than sleep, eat, watch some TV, and insult strangers on Twitter. A lot of our work today is just being one cog in a larger system. And by the end of the day, we don't get the satisfaction of having made anything. Sounds miserable. The impulse to go on Twitter and make some strangers be miserable also is understandable. That's the only way to share that feeling. After all, there's no time to make art about the empty and dissatisfying existence under late-stage capitalism if you have to work all the time. And just to be clear, I don't think every unhappy person feels the urge to be an arsehole to other people online. But I do think that most people who feel the need to be an arsehole to other people online probably lead sad and empty lives. Yet, I don't think that's the only problem. I think we have gotten ourselves into a situation where we think we are only allowed to make stuff, to make art, when it's good. And it's only good, only worth doing, if you can get paid for it. Now, I've already made a video about how you can't get good at anything without sucking at it first, so that's not what this one is about. This video is about allowing yourself not just to make, but to share the stuff that sucks. Sharing what you have made is part of how we connect with each other. Your friends will love the strange sculpture you've made for them because you have made it for them, not because it will go down in history as a milestone in modern art. People don't go to karaoke because they want to listen to great music. They do so because they want to have a fun time together. You can share joy and pain without being any good. You can share humanness without having created anything perfect. In fact, any perfect thing will feel less human. Now, some of my favorite songs are my favorite songs because I can hear the singer's voice break, not because they aced some super crazy difficult tunes. Before the pandemic, in the olden times, I was going to open mics once in a while doing stand-up comedy. You might know the usual depiction of open mics on TV, where you have awkward people with no to middling talent bombing terribly and everyone just pretends they're not there or is even making fun of them about how bad and embarrassing the whole situation is. Which is kind of weird, because why do you go to an open mic when you clearly don't want to be at an open mic? Anyways, in my experience, that is not what open mics are like. Of course, I only ever went to open mics that were hosted by the nicest and most supportive people. So my experience might be a little bit biased, but the people who check out open mics want to have a fun evening, and they want you to be funny. They want to laugh. You don't have to convince them that hard. And yes, sometimes your jokes fall flat, but nothing bad happens. People will just laugh about the next one because they want to laugh. Unless you're being an asshole, the crowd is usually on your side. Heck, I once performed at an open mic with essentially no audience, but 2 random guys who weren't there for the show and who just wanted to drink their beer. And it wasn't terrible, because I wasn't the only one performing. And us comedians, we had each other's backs. We just had to laugh louder to make up for the missing crowd. What I'm saying is that people know how scary it can be to share something you've made. And most of them are on your side when you do it. When I was a teenager, one of my favorite musicians at the time said something like, "Don't feel weird about going to concerts on your own, because you won't be there alone. The artist will be there too." Creating and making art is about the connection between artist and audience as much as it is about the thing. It is about making sure neither of us feels alone. Ultimately, the quality of the connection doesn't rely on the quality of the art. It relies on us to show up and share what we've made. Thank you. Who's gonna eat all my pain?